Am I the a-hole for not including my sister-in-law in the wedding morning prep, which led her to cry through the entire wedding? I, 26F, Latina, just got married to my husband Liam, 30M, and although our wedding was overall beautiful and magical, a situation involving my sister-in-law left me feeling conflicted. I'd appreciate your perspective. So here's the deal. In my culture, there's a distinction between a cunata, sister-in-law, like your husband's sister or your brother's wife, and a concunata, which in English would be something like a sister-in-law, the wife of your husband's sibling. Let's call mine Camille, 27F. She's married to my husband's older brother, Mark, 32M. My actual sister-in-law, Sophie, married to my brother, was there too and saw everything unfold. Side note, Sophie wasn't part of my bridesmaids, but she was included in the morning of the wedding for makeup and hair cause we are a lot more closer, and cause she asked me for a place to get her makeup done at least 2 months prior to the wedding, and I have the GF of one of my bridesmaids cancel, but her spot was already on the contract, so I told Sophie she could be with us. Besides that, my brother couldn't make it to the wedding, and I didn't want for her to feel alone. A couple of months before the wedding, I stayed in North Carolina with my father and mother-in-law and one of my brothers-in-law, Jack, 27. I don't have many friends there, and we were living in a retirement community, so I spent a lot of time at home. Camille and Mark also live in NC but farther away, and since I don't drive and I'm not familiar with the area, I didn't invite her over. That said, on previous trips to NC, I did try to connect with her and help her with things I know are important to her professionally. We're not close, but I always try to be cordial and respectful. The day before the wedding, we had our rehearsal dinner after walking through the ceremony logistics. By the way, the wedding was in my home country. I wasn't really doing formal introductions, just saying hi to some of my husband's friends I had met and introducing him to a couple of my bridesmaids. Camille wasn't a bridesmaid, but her husband Mark was one of the groomsmen. My sister-in-law Sophie later told me Camille was visibly upset that no one had introduced her properly and that she looked uncomfortable all night. She wasn't alone though, she was with my in-laws. Later, Camille and Mark showed up late to the rehearsal dinner. It was raining, so that was understandable. What caught me a little off guard was that Camille arrived in athletic wear and a very bright rain jacket. The event had a formal vibe, even if not fully black tie yet, but I figured maybe her clothes got wet or she was just caught off guard. No big deal. The glam squad situation. That night, as we were all saying goodbye, I reminded my bridesmaids about our morning schedule. That's when Mark asked my husband Liam if Camille was coming to the hotel to get ready with us. Liam asked me and I said no. We had a glam team hired with a contract and a specific headcount. And to be honest, Camille and I had never had a conversation about her getting her hair and makeup done with us. It hadn't even crossed my mind. I didn't think she'd want to spend money on separate glam either. Mainly because I've been told, though I've never witnessed it myself, that they sometimes ask my father-in-law to pay for parts of their trips. For example, in this case, I was told Camille went to my father-in-law insisting he book the Airbnb immediately after New Year's, or else she would charge it herself and invoice him later. My father-in-law often gives in because he doesn't want to cause any problems. That night, things escalated. Mark and Liam had a heated conversation where Mark said things like, if my wife isn't welcome, then I'm not welcome either, and that Liam and Camille needed to talk, just the three of them, without me. Which I found kind of absurd because we're talking about the morning of my wedding. Why would my husband have a closed-door meeting about it without me? The morning of the wedding, my MIL texted me the night before saying she'd be with Camille the next morning. I replied kindly that it wouldn't be possible,